first this one quickly. I did do a bit of grinding since last time to get all of FaZe and Bart's death blows, if they can't use most of them yet. But because of that, and I couldn't actually leave the ship till I talked to this guy at least once, which means some speech was of course cut out, so I kept the save and doing it now, and I'm going to have to restart the game again because I can't load a save game. But young master, according to Margie, there's quite a troublemaker in Gabler. Yeah, so who the heck is he? Karan Ramses of the Holy Solaris Empire Special Foreign Affairs Agency. In other words, he's the Commander-in-Chief of Gabler. It seems that Gabler isn't just after the excavation sites around Av after all. You mean they're not after the Jasper? If that's their only goal, they wouldn't need to send an important man like him. Young master, this could become unexpectedly complicated. Doc hasn't come back yet, has he? Doc. No need to worry about him. He'll join us soon. So I had to talk to him before leaving. Oh, to think that Margarita's now returned. Come to think of it, this is the second time we have had to flee from the royal capital. It seems an awful long time ago, that night that I took them with me to escape. Yeah, and on top of that, he was bold enough to steal this ship along the way. You know, this used to be the Kingdom's flagship. Yes, it was all Sigurd's doing. So courageous of him, even at such a young age. Anyway, this Yggdrasil can be considered as a keepsake of the late king from the young master. It kind of feels like you're stuck to me for life. Even though you used to be my personal knight, right? Now I'm just a kid pirate. But eventually you'll become a proud lord. I gotta hurry up and grow up, or I'll never be proud of myself. And I won't be able to win against him. Okay, those are the two scenes, so now I'm gonna reload the game. We shall have to enter into Nissan through the secret road. Let's keep on the lookout for a lone tree in the desert as a sign of where the road lies buried. Shall we launch the Yggdrasil? Yggdrasilion. Now I see why you came down to the surface. Alright, I understand you, but Karan Ramses taking over the post of Av is pretty annoying. The home country might have had some special reasons. Yeah, obviously. But perhaps there is still a chance of success. You and I, who used to be called Elements, at the Commander's Training School, Jugend, are both here. Hope you are right. By the way, she is still... According to Faye, there was a female aide on Karan's side, and he said that she had indigo blue eyes and hair, so it must be her. So, all the old Elements members are on the surface world now. I guess so. Hyuga. To be honest with you, she scares me. She supports Khan and is kind to anyone. I know that very well. But sometimes I felt a strange fear in her that bothers me more than Khan being in this land. That cannot be true. Not in her. Yeah, I don't want to believe it either. But don't you remember how I could always sense these things quite accurately? Right. By the way, have you told the young one yet? No, not yet. I don't want him to worry until we know exactly what Solaris's objectives really are. But I have to tell him eventually, though. Anyway, Hyuga, have you gotten any information? Not really. I left there before going into the center section. Faye! Oh, Jubart, don't scare me. Sorry, Dory. It sounds like Sig and your doctor friend know each other pretty darn well. Sig, damn. I thought I knew everything about that guy. When did Doc get back? I'll complete the remaining checks on board. I'll leave the rest up to you, Mason. As you wish. I will have the honor of accompanying the others. Bartholomew, healthy as ever, I hope. Yeah, how's the town? Since we got word several days ago that there might be an army advancing from the royal capital, The sex representatives have been in discussion. What have they come up with? For now, they just plan to improve the local defenses. Also, anti-Shikam people have been gathering here, probably because they heard about what's going on. That's reassuring. Yes. However, the residents are starting to feel uneasy. People are starting to take refuge up north in the mountains. Can't blame them. By the way, how's Marguerite? Better than we thought, but I knew she was in a lot of grief. Marguerite, I'm so glad you're safe. Thanks. All the townspeople are overjoyed by the Great Mother's return. Wow, it's been such a long time since I left here. Well, first of all, we should accompany Marguerite up to meet the sisters. Huh? What is it, old Mason? Goodness gracious me. To think that little Miss Marguerite was finally able to return here. It is so awfully moving. Hey, pull yourself together, old man. Forgive me. How terribly embarrassing. I couldn't help it. I shall go back and give some instructions to the men left on the ship. Please, young master, go ahead and escort Miss Marguerite up to see the sisters. Excuse me now. I know all the houses look like shops. These are the people who took care of me when I was small. I'm so glad you're safe. Welcome back. Oh, Bart, I'm glad you're well. The people at the hidden port contacted us just before you came into town. I've already contacted the monastery. Please take Margie up there as soon as possible. She'll be so happy, not to mention the sisters. I must hurry and see the sisters. Fine. Margie. Margie. I'm back, everyone. Oh, Margie. We're so glad you're safe. Yes, it is all thanks to Bart and his men. We just received word. So we were singing a hymn of praise and joy. We're so happy. Oh, what a relief. Welcome back, Margie. We had faith that you and your cousin Bart would one day return safely. We and your other friends have been waiting for you. Sister Agnes. Unfortunately, your mother and the blessed royal mother. I know, Sister Agnes. I heard about it at the royal capital. But at least I have made it back. I'll never go anywhere or leave you from now on. I won't make you all worry any more, ever again. Bless you, my dear. Sister Agnes, this just isn't like you at all. Here I am back safe and sound. Can't you rebuke me just a little for old time's sake? I'm sorry, but I'm just so happy that I cannot help you, but... Sister... There is no reason to be so solemnly quiet. Well, everyone, to celebrate the return of our dear sister Margie, and to express our joy to heaven, let us finish singing our hymn. Thank you, and bless you all. Oh yes, sister, may I go upstairs? It's been oh so long, so I want to have a look around up there too. Oh, but of course, dear. Don't even think of holding back from anything. Except for one thing. Never stay away so long like that again. I knew you'd say that. Now that's the Agnes I know. Margie, I'm so glad. It's been a while since the last time I was here. Something wrong, Margie? Nothing. It's just... I guess I got a little emotional. Anyhow, take it easy for a while. You've put up with enough, okay? If you're trying to make me cry, you'll fail. Oh yes. I'll show Faye and Seitan around our cathedral. Follow me. What a strong girl she is. It is obvious that she really wants to just break down and cry. Yeah, you're right. That's just the way she has always been. For all her talk, she understands her position well. Maybe there are a few things I could learn from her too. We go up to the gallery on the second floor from here. How magnificent. If we ever got scolded for pranks as kids, Bart and I used to hide here. Hey, stop telling those old stories. It's embarrassing. But to me, Bart hasn't changed much since then. What? You mean that you think I'm still a kid? I like the view from here the best. Yes, this is breathtaking. Light from outside shining through the stained glass of the cathedral's front. What a brilliant piece of artistry this is. Did you notice that the two great angels only have one wing each? According to a legend handed down in Nisan, God could have created humans perfectly, but then humans would not have helped each other. So that is what these great single-winged angels symbolize. In order to fly, they are dependent on one another. Ah, so that is the reason for it. I see. On further inspection, the left angel looks somewhat masculine, while the right one looks somewhat feminine. Now that is an unusual feature, is it not? Usually these depictions are not gender specific, but these angels are clearly distinguishable as having opposing genders. And the space between them is the path where God advents. Or could it be the path leading to God? Well, I do not know. It could be either, or even both. Now I see. This all coincides with the teachings of Nisan. Why, Dr. Saitenuzaki, you are an amusing fellow. Oh, excuse me? It is a habit of mine. The doc knows a lot about a lot of things. Sometimes I can't even understand what he's talking about. Forcing them to fly together. It would be less bothersome if they could fly on their own, don't you think, Faye? But you miss the deeper meaning and beauty of it. Someday, I wish I could be of help to someone like that. Oh, we haven't visited the room of Sophia yet, have we? You're really supposed to go through some procedures before you can see it. But this time I think it will be alright if I make a special exception. Sophia? Yes, Sophia. She is revered as the founding mother of the Nisan nation, and the founder of the Nissan religion, who set forth its teachings. There is a special room upstairs that has a portrait of Mother Sophia in it. I would definitely like to view that. Faye, let us go have a look at it. It's farther on in. Oh my, what an exquisite portrait. And the beautiful young lady portrayed is quite beyond comparison too. What is more, this looks rather familiar. What do you think, Faye? Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. The hair is a different colour, but the atmosphere or personality about her is exactly the same. What? Hair colour? What do you mean? What do I mean? Look! It's the girl I met in the forest. It's Ellie. I mean, there's something about her that's just like Ellie. You don't think so? Yes. Now that you mention it, she does resemble Ellie. But that is not what I was talking about. I meant that the brush techniques and overall style used in this picture is similar to yours. Really? Does it? First of all, I'm nowhere near as good an artist. No, it is very similar to your style. But somehow I can sense an atmosphere of sadness in this picture. She is smiling, but in a way gives the impression that she is anxious. Perhaps the picture is reflecting her inner self. Or perhaps it is the inner feelings of the artist being conveyed. If you look closely, you will notice that the painting is not completely finished. The artist put his brushes down when it was near completion. Why is that? I don't know, but my grandmother might have known about it. Oh, what if we ask Agnes? She may know something. All right then, I'll be with Sister Agnes. Well, shall we head back to the town for now? Yes, all right. But this painting has caught my curiosity. Do you mind if I speak to Sister Agnes before we head back to town? Yeah, okay. We'll stop by her room on the way out. Lacan. Is something wrong, Faye? You look like you are daydreaming. Huh? No. It's nothing. I understand you were shown Sophia's portrait. The lady portrayed in that picture is Nissan's great founding mother. Some say that it was painted at least 500 years ago. 500 years ago? Now that is quite amazing. Personally, I find it intriguing. Do you have any historical material from that period? In our hands, there are no such records left intact. All records and materials concerning Sophia have been lost. The portrait is the only thing left. We too do not have much knowledge about her. That is too bad. So there really is nothing left at all? For someone who has helped Marguerite, I would have loved to have shared them. But unfortunately, I am unable to help here. Oh well. None the matter. Please do not worry about it. I was just inquiring. But it does seem somewhat strange. If such a majestic building as this survived history, then it is likely a scroll or two would remain here too. Blah. According to tradition, Sophia was present about 500 years ago. She sacrificed herself for the people and has been summoned to be with God. That's all I can tell you. I see. So everything was lost in the darkness of history. Ah. Young master. The people of Nissan were most generous to allow us to rent this house, so there will be no need to seek lodgings at the inn for a while. Also, Master Sigurd wishes a word with you regarding your next move, if he may. Alright, so where is Sig? The good Master Sigurd is waiting for you inside. Okay, thanks, Mason. Whenever I come here, it always calms my heart. Anyway, young master, I want to work out what our plans from here on are. Alright, but before we do that, there is something I want to ask you. Me? Yeah. Sig. What's up with you and that Gebler officer? What's the connection between you and him? You know, you sure know a lot about Gebler for some reason. Alright, I'll tell you. Me and Seitan here, we used to live in Solaris. Solaris? You mean where Gebler's from? That's right. Solaris calls foreigners lambs. They are used as manual labour. Basically, it's slavery. Slavery? Is that where you met him? Yes, it was there. We worked for the Solaris government for a short while, but we learned to dislike their methods and escaped the first chance we had. You were friends with these people? I met you when I was a kid, and we've been together ever since then. So this would have had to have happened even before then. I probably wouldn't have understood this if I had heard it earlier, but why didn't you think I could deal with it now? Surely you could have told me about this. Especially when you had something to do with the people who were backing that Sharkan idiot. I wish you'd told me sooner. There's nothing I can do about that now. But there's one thing I want you to believe. We left Solaris on our own will and for our own reasons. Now they've appeared before us, we can't just sit back and do nothing. If need be, I will give my life to stop them. Alright, I understand, but can you elaborate a little more? Where is Solaris? What bugs me is this surface dwellers thing. It's as if Solaris is in another location, like up in the clouds or something. Yes, well... Eterank, the capital of the Solaris Empire, is located in the skies above. Solaris is separated from the land by dimensional distortion fields known as gates. Passing between the two requires special means of transportation, such as an airship. To get to Av, we stowed away on a regular flight to the surface. I came much later than Sigurd did, but I also escaped in the same way. What are lambs? That is the word Solarians use to indicate those who live on the earth. As I said before, such surface dwellers or earth dwellers are used for manual labour there. Manual labour could be anything from soldiers to administrative jobs. Solaris gathers its workforce from the land dwellers. Jobs are divided up by who is the most suitable. Sometimes people are brainwashed. Brainwashed? When you, young master, were still an infant, I was used as a test subject. There was probably something they valued inside of me. You too, Doc? No. I was born in the lower city levels. It is not a complete secret. But I guess I am a Solarian. You see, you still need people to run a country. No matter how scientifically advanced you are, you have no support without people. Pure Solarians are rare. They would not even make up a quarter of Av's total population. So they support their country by stealing surface dwellers. Who is that man? His name is Karan Ramses. As you know, he's the Gebler commander. Ramses. We call him Ka. In Solaris, there is an officer training school called Jugend. He became the commander after leaving there. He is a lower-level citizen, the same as me. However, with his amazing abilities, after graduating, he rose through the ranks with unparalleled speed. That man had one ideal: to achieve a consolidation of all his colleagues. Even land dwellers, if they had talent, were brought into the army. So you two were picked by Ramses? No, we were not picked by him. We aligned ourselves with him. At that time, we agreed with him. At the time, Ramses was our hope. He had high ideals and wanted to change the system in Solaris. To us test subjects and lowest level citizens, he was truly all that we wished for. A benefactor? Yes. Even I, a test subject, was changed by his ideals. Why did you leave? So, why was it that you wanted to flee from Solaris? We were placed in key military positions by Ramses, and thanks to that we came to know the relationship between Solaris and the surface dwellers. The lambs, right? They weren't just using us lambs for slave labour. They also selected some of us, like me, to be used as subjects in experiments to refine their drugs. Drugs that changed people's personalities, to make them more aggressive and to draw out their latent abilities. They were using us as human guinea pigs to test their psychological alteration drugs. Human guinea pigs? Experimenting on humans? Yes, for example. Drive. That drug, and all others like it, that are used now, are byproducts of human experimentation. However, the role of such experimental subjects was not limited to just that. This drive drug is something that anyone in the Solaris army can use. At least, anyone in the Gebler forces who is sent to the surface. You're worried about her, huh? I saw someone in her room. No. Anyway, using slaves as guinea pigs, how low are those guys? These guys. Damn. I think I get most of it. Old Mason, go reserve the town hall for us. We'll finish talking there. I'm going outside to get some air. I should have been honest with him sooner. It's best not to worry about it. You did all you could at the time. The young one will understand. I am sure the young master would never have dreamed of such a tale. I guess you already knew. Well, now that you ask, yes I did. However, when Sigurd was telling his story, I thought it was best to stay quiet. Please try and help the young master come to terms with all that he has just heard. had no idea Sig had such a past. Are you still suspicious of Sigurd? Well, I mean, it was just so sudden. I kind of expected to hear something different, like that we were childhood rivals or something. But that's nothing compared to the story you just told us, is it? So hearing his story has you confused because it was not so simple. There was a time when he was cooperating with one of Gebler's generals. Furthermore, behind Gebler was a country that you had never even heard of. Hey, what are you picking on me for? No, I'm not picking on you or blaming anything on you. What I'm saying is this. If you think about how he feels, then you should see why he could not talk about this with you till now. Looking at the activities of Solaris towards other countries up until now, it has never gone beyond simply maintaining their own empire or self-preservation. And as you have seen, their military power is immense, so Sigurd was probably thinking ahead. First, he was probably concentrating on taking care of the problems here on the continent of Ignis. Once things were settled here, it would give him a stronger foundation to deal with Solaris later, which is a much better plan than rushing straight into a war he knew we could not win. Quite logical, really. Sounds like you understand one another pretty well. Well, it is not like we are newly acquainted, is it? And we had talked about a lot of things up until we decided to escape from Solaris. Speaking of that, why did you leave? That Ramses guy was supposed to be a Star of Hope or something, wasn't he? Yes, I certainly thought so at first. But then I realized his way of thinking really was not that much of a change from the previous system. Basically, the only difference was whether they stressed people's rank and class or their skill. The words had changed, but it was still no different from what Solaris itself had been doing until then. He had no intentions of bringing everyone a better way of life. In other words, he's an elitist. I don't think I like him much either. So, Saitan, do you think I can beat Gebler? Why? Are you planning on fighting them? As long as they're working with Sharkan, there's no way around it. The way things are going, I'm sure we'll have to fight them sooner or later. I suppose so, but even if we were to defeat the Gebler forces here, there is still Solaris to deal with. If we are not careful, it is possible that we may get involved in a longer war than that with Sharkan. Do you not agree that continuing the way we have been going is rather hard on everyone? I think it is time we tried to get help from a greater number of people. So, defeating Sharkan's not going to get rid of the likes of Gebler. I know what you're trying to say. To vanquish Gebler, first gain thy throne, right? You could put it that way. What do you mean, you could put it that way? But then again, maybe it is time I did something about that. Town Hall. I went to the tool shop to borrow a table. The owner said, if we need anything for the young master, just ask for it. I'm grateful. When I was a kid, I borrowed stuff from there and got in big trouble. Borrowed? What did you take? A toy boat. I think that's what it was. I put fireworks in it and let it float on the cathedral's lake. I always used to play Navy. I'm not sure, but I think I pretended the lake was the open sea, and I was the fleet commander. Anyway, forget those old stories. We should get started. First, Gabler is the big problem. Yes, Ramses is headed towards achieving his goals. That he is now the commander of Gabler is proof of that. A normal man could not progress so quickly through that country's organization. And now he is presently located here in Ignis. Frankly, the situation is not very favorable. We need to somehow find a weak spot and attack it with all our might. First, let's just concentrate on Sharkan. Once he's out of the way and Av is safe again, we can think about how to deal with Gabler. With our present strength, we should be able to hold off the Royal Guard forces. The problem is how to deal with Gabler in the meantime. They will most likely move at Sharkan's request. They're not just gonna sit by and watch quietly. May I have a look there, please? In short, we want Gabler to leave for a while. At least until we are able to take back the royal capital, Beldavik. These are the Gabler units currently in Av, correct? The Western Guards. The Royal Capital Defence Force. And units along the front line at the borders with Kislev. There are 3 main groups. Each is made up of a mix of Gabler and Av forces. Only 2 of these are very large. The Royal Capital's defence units and the Kislev border units. The Western Guard along the Nisan border are little more than a surveillance team. In order to recapture the royal capital, it will be necessary to draw these defence units away from Beldavik. We have some Kislev-made gears, correct? Yeah, we captured some earlier. What if we use those gears to make a raid on the Western Guards? Here at the border with Nisan. I see. We'll draw them out by making it look like Kislev is invading Av. But the problem is, will attacking the border guards be enough to set the center in motion? To be sure then, Nisan will just have to appear to align with Kislev. If they see it that way, they will certainly make a move. You're saying that you intend to use Nisan as bait? Doc. Sharkan is very sensitive to Nisan and Kislev's actions. If Nisan starts moving, he will probably leave it up to Gabler, but... Of course, I do not wish to do that from the very beginning. but looking at the situation, we have to be willing to go that far. First, we infiltrate into the capital. To take out Shah Khan, we'll have to meet up with our agents already in the city. We are forgetting one thing. The frontline units along Kislev's border. The main strength of Av's fleet is the battleship Kurfenzel. It's been in service since the reign of the last king. Because of its firepower, the whole unit is nicknamed the Invincible Fleet. I recall yesterday's intelligence report said that the ship is near the border. Damn, that puts everything in jeopardy. Do not feel so down. I simply wanted you to see the current distribution of force in the area. Even in the worst case that they do come, it will not be such a great problem. What do you mean? I have some additional information about Av's border fleet. The former Av Supreme Commander was transferred there. Not really transferred, more like demoted. His name is Vanderkrum. Vanderkrum? You don't mean the Vanderkrum that was in Juckend? The very same. Young one, he has not been able to adapt to the change in tactics, particularly following the introduction of gears. He is a man who will never stray from his dependence on large naval guns. You mean, he's stubborn? He has all size and no real military power, an excellent target for pirates. Young master, this is not going to be an act of piracy. Just kidding. Actually, the number of gears assigned to the fleet seems to have been reduced. Even with that, how gallant of him to be so self-righteous. Is he that much of a musclehead? It'll be fun taunting him. Young master. I know. Anyway, Saitan, do you think he can strike our gear forces? It is not a problem. Even with Vanderkrum we have enough forces left to pull off the feint. However, it would not be wise to underestimate our opponents. Well, now that we know what we're up against, here's what we'll do. Apart from our main unit headed for Beljavik, we must keep the fleet at the Kislev border from returning to the capital. So, you're suggesting we have another unit? A few effective soldiers to hold the enemy at bay. A small force is best. A small force. What if Faye leads a group of gears there? Me? Hold on now. There's no reason to involve you all in this. I'll do it. Yes, let me do it. When do we leave? Are you sure? We've come this far. Hey, we're friends to the end now. Speed is everything. We should do this as soon as possible. Alright, tomorrow. I'm truly grateful, Faye. Saitan. Yeah. There's no way we can lose. No one will die in vain. Well put, young master. Good morning. What's with the long face? Not feeling well? Or are you feeling sad about saying goodbye? Or maybe you're just nervous. Shut up, stupid. Don't bug me. Well, it's almost time. Yeah. Is everyone ready to go? I'll be waiting here, so let me know when you are through preparing. There is a new wind blowing today. Lately this town has gotten lonely, but I'm stubborn. I won't close up shop. Save point. Are you ready? Yep. Our comrades in Nissan will hit the Western Guards in Kislev uniforms as planned. We'll wait for the right moment, then head for the palace in the Yggdrasil. Got it. But avoid any unnecessary deaths. This especially goes for the AV troops, and also the people from Gebla. Yes, we understand. I guess I'm going to raise some hell in my well tool then. We're counting on you. Next time we meet, I won't be able to call you Bart or young master. Maybe your majesty? Cut it out. Bart's fine. Great mother of Nissan. Hey, you know I hate that title. Well, we're out of here. Okay, good luck. Marguerite and Bartholomew. Seeing you two brings my hopes up. Long ago, before the Fatimas of Av were called Fatima, the royal brothers and their wives oversaw many prosperous reigns or eras. I'm looking forward to the day when, as the great mother of the Nissan sect, you will take your place on the throne as Bartholomew's wife. What? Hey, hold on. I hate talking about queens and romance. Bart and I are best friends. Marriage is the best friendship. Well, Marguerite, at the rate that you are maturing into a beautiful woman, I don't think Bart will be able to ignore you much longer. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. Each squad of gears take off in order from here to avoid being picked up. We'll meet at the Rockies by the border tomorrow at 1200. Got it? Okay. The time has finally come. I'm pumped. Though the warship is outdated and you're only going in as a small unit. It's going to be a tough fight, but you could change Alf's future. I'm counting on you. Leave it up to us, young master. We'll drag Vandercrumb's tail around and around. Right, son? Don't call me son, 'cause you sure ain't my pops. Well, young master, we promised to make something out of this battle. Faye, it's odd for me to say this since I'm the one who got you involved, but be careful, okay? You too? If anything happens to me, take care of Margie and them for me. Don't jinx yourself, it's not like you. But I'll take care of them, don't worry. Oh, aren't you going to rest up a little? God damn it. I'm gonna have to stop here for now because some idiots have decided to start banging around up in the frickin' loft right above my room. Which is just typical. I'll be back later.